All right, so first question is, what are those little things in films that annoy you?
I actually thought about this.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly what to call it, but I feel like...
Wait, who asked the question?
The Mota.
Okay.
Fucking Moda, dude.
The Mota. We love you.
Yeah. So, I don't know exactly what to call it, but I feel like once I explain it, you'll be like, I know what you're talking about. You know, there's always just that thing in movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Where, like... Okay, I'm trying to think of an example, but, like... A character says something out loud that, like, you would never say out loud, but, like...
Like you're by yourself searching for something and you're like, man, I need to find that latex right now. And it's
or something that's
latex?
like... Or, like, even more of an example... latex. I need to find my latex-free condoms right now. Lambskin? Oh, yes. They actually do make those. Anyway. Yeah, like someone's like, or like,
Yeah.
The more you do that, the longer it's gonna take him to say what he's have to say.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Just continue. Go.
You're just derailing yourself. Like, okay, let's say like, I'm a character in a movie, and like my dad's over there, and I think something bad happened to my dad, and out loud I go, Dad. And then I run. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, though?
Instead of just running over there.
Okay.
Like you would never fucking do that.
Now you just made me think of something that annoys me in movies.
Yeah.
When they have to... when
Dad,
the writer
Mom,
has to, like...
glasses.
Yeah. When the writer has to be like, oh, fuck, do you think the audience is going to know that they're related? Okay, let's just make them say mom, dad, son, and all of these. So, I really like you, Mom. Thanks, son. Hey, Mom.
Hey, what...
My Aunt Judy's here.
Sis.
Like,
sis fucking...
sis.
Hey, sis. Fucking grinds
I
my
love you,
gears.
little bro. Like, just shut the fuck up. Oh
Yeah.
my god. I can put two and two together, or just like... Who cares? It doesn't matter if I know.
The only time it's so poorly done is, like, in Freaky, where it's like, who the fuck is that police officer? Like... You like, unless they're sister. So as long as it's written well.
The one time they don't, like, it's the one example of a movie that does the complete opposite of it, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Is The Invisible Man. The guy and the daughter that she's staying with. Mm-hmm. Like, they never tell you who that guy is, if he's like a friend or like an ex-boyfriend or anything. And I was always like, can you just like say like, thanks, old friend, or something, so I know.
Thanks, fella.
Yeah, anyway.
Man, we go way
But it's not even, like, for character development. It's just, like, it doesn't even have to be a person. It's, like...
It's because it treats you like you're mentally handicapped, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that stupid.
But, like, no one would do that in real life.
Dad.
Oh, Dad. Oh, no.
Runs out of frame.
Yeah. Like, you can picture the fucking scene. You know what I mean?
That's my uncle.
Yeah.
It's my uncle.
I don't know. I think sometimes I get sick of the whole like formula. Formula. I don't know, maybe like comedies or like dramedies or even like romances where it's just like we gotta have and you know, this is just more of like a critique of like structure of films, I guess. Like, I wish more people would find a more interesting way to tell a story with, and not the more like basic formula of how you tell a story, and you know, climax, arcs, all these things. When you know, you get your basic like second act drop off where like it starts getting serious after the second act, and it's like throws us into the third act, and it's like, oh, this is actually a little bit more serious than you thought, and it's like, oh, there's some backstory here. Oh, it's actually kind of getting sad, and then we have to like get through this like period of like
they're
sadness.
at their lowest point.
It's like,
it's called the low point.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's I get annoyed by that because movies that don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Who feel like they need to, so they just shove it in there. Well, I think it's even more annoying is like the classic, and this is kind of what you're talking about too, but like I mean, they don't really do this too much anymore, but when they do it, it's like very like annoying, and like the liar revealed. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like somebody finds out that like somebody was not telling them the truth, and then it's like they have to get through this period of like, what the fuck, you lied to me, and then they, you know, again they run off or whatever.
And it's so like, it's so,
because we've seen it
like,
a
obviously
times.
Like when you make a movie you have to have like a flow to it, and it needs to reach this point where like the problems are starting to be addressed. I mean, again, like I'm not in my script that I'm writing right now. It happens, but it's just like more so how you do it. And I think and I think I take issue with the way characters in movies, like they write characters like they're unable to solve their problems. I can't stand the whole like misunderstanding or miscommunication,
and they just don't talk about it.
Run away, and then there's this period of time where they don't see each other and they're like both bad, and it's like, no, I mean, people talk.
You can clarify like a problem most people have in movies with like one sentence.
Like I don't mind if like there's like low points in relationships and stuff, but I want movies where characters communicate like actual human beings. Obviously, there's misunderstandings and like there's clashes and people don't know, they don't say what they're actually trying to say. That's another thing I learned in the last year, that like in movies people don't like say what they really mean, and I agree with that. But at a certain point, they do, and that can create conflict. And I wish we got more of that, where like you're thinking about a movie and you're like, why don't you just say this?
Yeah.
And then they say it and you're like, oh, that's like so satisfying, but that doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
There's actual communication, yet there's still a problem. I would like to see more of that, where it's like just fucking like the characters that you're just like, why, if you just said this, then the miscommunication would be understood. It's very annoying.
But plot,
but story, that would be a critique of the whole movie itself. You have to change your entire movie.
Yeah.
Still, it annoys me.
Here's another thing this is a very specific thing. Anything in a movie that revolves around like if it's a main focus of like people like who they're in the business of selling like weed, I just don't care about.
Yeah.
Ralph Seppi. I just don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
I mean,
like The Gentleman is like a perfect example.
I like that movie, but I was even like, this
like,
feels a little
fucking
bit like
really
like a little not as modern as it could be.
I just don't care. There's just
I think that's actually kind of the joke, maybe a joke in Gentleman, where like the fact that he's a pot dealer is like kind of ridiculous in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Really
there's just nothing for me. There's just nothing compelling about that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, like that's my whole like. Every Kevin Smith movie that he makes now has to have like pot humor in it, and I'm just like, it's just not.
But even when it's played for like a serious drama thing, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's just like that.
Literally, even if they just change it to like cocaine or something, I was like, all right. But fucking weed, like, they don't give a shit. And also, it's becoming legal.
Yeah, it feels like childish, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, pot. Oh, smoke pot.
Oh, look, he's got to hide the weed from the cops, and he's,
I don't care. Mine would be, and they have to do with animated movies specifically. One is like that whole trope, and this one says what are those little things in film, but I guess this is a much broader thing, but whatever. Is like the whole, I don't know what to call this, but the whole like, Inside Out, Emoji Movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet thing, where they're like, Inside Out, we're inside a brain with all these cool things, and the Emoji Movie, we're inside a phone with all these cool things. Wreck-It Ralph 2, we're inside the internet with all these cool things.
Definitely seems to be an animated movie like trope.
I think I have an issue with like any movie that tries to make the internet like a...
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Like, oh, the internet, isn't this modern?
Yeah, and then the other thing... This one specifically...
What about Osmosis Jones, though?
I don't know. I saw it once in science class.
Okay. It's got Bill Murray.
That was also when it wasn't a trope, and that's from, 2002. Now it's like, oh, we gotta put them... they gotta have all these, colorful characters inside this fancy land inside something small.
We're gonna go inside Candy Crush. Whoa!
Yeah, fucking kill me. And then the other thing, this is a joke that I've mostly heard in animated movies. In fact, I've only heard it in animated movies. But just in general, the same almost word-for-word jokes reused in comedy movies over and over.
Oh!
Hold on, let me say one. I saw this in the Lego movie, Big Hero 6, and I want to say Scoob or something, where they're in the middle of a car chase and he puts on his blinker and he's like, what are you doing? You're in a car chase. And they're like, it's a force of habit. Fucking stop. It's not funny. I saw it 3 times already. Kill yourself.
What's funny is I've never seen that joke.
I saw it like every cartoon show and movie for a 3-year span. It was like, look funny.
Okay. Well, you made me think of something. I've said this before, and on very rare occasions it's gotten me to laugh, but in my opinion, the lowest form of comedy, particularly in movies, is the just like the comparison joke. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Adam Sandler.
Oh, what are you, fucking seal? What are you, you know?
Yeah.
What are you?
It's so easy.
Da-da-da.
So Adam Sandler's comedy, where he's just
Seth
like,
Rogen is very...
hey, you're blah blah
does
blah, you're blah blah blah, and
It's
you're blah
anybody
blah.
can do it. Like fucking like, what are you?
A Jew?
What are you? Some specific pop culture reference?
I will say one thing that's kind of like another kind of a more broad that I just thought of when you were saying that is when the movie has to stop to recognize a joke or like something that's sad. I really appreciate movies that don't ever stop to be like, hey, did you hear that joke? Because I've heard jokes like that in comedies and they happen like off screen, and I think they're really funny when they do it like that.
Yeah.
I really think jokes off screen are like Marvel has done this before where they just ADR shit in the background that like Tony Stark will say, and I like that stuff, and it feels better in Marvel movies because Marvel's notorious for like having to stop a scene for a joke.
Right.
But when they don't treat the audience like we need to stop to clap and laugh and just like, if you heard it, great. If you didn't, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Because when you go home and you watch it without an audience, it's incredibly awkward.
It's almost like it's almost like the Big Bang Theory, where you take away the like fake applause, and I've seen videos on YouTube.
Those type of shows don't exist without laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it.
You literally like you watch them like do a joke, and then they like all look at each other like,
yeah, I can't.
while people laugh.
Yeah.
I have more, but I feel like we'd just be talking forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that was a really good
that
question.
was a good question. If you want to know more stuff, you can ask a number 2 version of this question later, because I feel like I could go on for like 20 more minutes.